Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. My name is Pelly. I work for the MakeCode team, and today we're going to go through some of the new stuff that we've added to the MakeCode microbit beta editor. So if you're familiar with the microbit MakeCode, there is actually a beta coming up. And if you look at here, the link here, you'll see that we just add beta, and then you'll be in the latest and greatest of the beta. It may change every day because we're actively working on it and fixing bugs. And today we're going to be looking at some of the new blocks that were added to the editor, as well as the multi-editor feature. As usual, just drop a message in the chat if you have a question. Otherwise, you can reach us also at our forums, forum.makecode.com. Okay, let's get going. So we tried to change very little as far as the experience so that we don't disrupt things, but we've made a few changes to the blocks. I'm not talking about APIs here, not so much about how the drag and drop works. One exciting one, the first one is that we're looking at reorganizing the music catalog. There is a new block here called play melody. Otherwise, all the blocks here are the same as usual. There's two new blocks in music. I'm going to grab this one out. There's set volume, and there is play melody. And of course, those are compatible with the existing blocks like play tone and so forth. The set volume takes a value between 0 and 255. So it's pretty easy to, for example, plug a light level in the set volume, and you will kind of hear some differences. You won't be able to hear, if you change a little bit, but certainly if you put it to 0, it's going to be completely off. And this is pretty much how it works today, maximum volume. But you'll see that you'll be able to hear some volume difference, like maybe 5 or 6 levels around that. So that's a very nice block that you can use depending on what kind of speaker you're going to use. You're going to also have different characteristics happening, but a very nice block here. And again, this goes between 0 and 255. The other one that's really fun, and what you'll see here, for example, if I play it, I do a play tone and I use the accelerometer. Go and do that. Now that's bad because that's between 0 and let me keep the light level for now for this demo. All right, so if I play a tone, you'll see that I have 16 here, and then if I increase it, you'll see that it goes to 128, so it's slightly larger as far as the tone it's playing. But if I go down, because ultimately this represents the analog signal that we're sending into that pin. The tone are modeled as square waves on the electrical signal, and you can see how the volume impacts that. All right, so set volume is 1. And then the other one that's really cool is melody. Melody is a block that one of our intern built during the internship. I'm going to remove that one. So we got these two. It's very intuitive. It's like a beatbox editor. You can pick from a gallery of songs, and then you can start moving the tones around. You can change your tempo here. So we hope the kids can kind of spend a good amount of time trying that. And when you're in play mode, it'll continue playing this. And there is a color coding Oh, I'm seeing the... All right. Seems like there were some image quality with the stream. So yeah, if it's buffering, thing like that, please tell me. We'll try to figure out what's going on. So we had some message on the chat here. Seems that it's resolved. All right, so the melody is kind of the new way to design your plays. It starts playing the melody. So that's new. And it builds on top of these ones, but these are kind of so the stop melody will work and the event will still works. But we think that this will actually unleash more creativity from the students as far as coming up with their own little jingles or tones. They can use that to create some little bidding sounds and things like that. So that's 2 new blocks that we have. Let's keep those around. Now going into the exploration of the new blocks, we have something called, so in LED, these are kind of the basic ones, but if you used to go in more, we have 2 new ones, which is plot and point brightness. So most of the time when we work with the screen, we just turn things on and off, and everybody's happy for that. But it's actually possible to change the brightness of single LED. You can actually control the brightness and it'll be kind of visible, maybe like 10 levels of that your eye can pick up, but certainly you can see something going on there. So for example, I can here decide that I'm gonna do, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do something like, I guess I'm gonna have to map the accelerometer data. What could be a good demo? All right, we're gonna do the classic demo. Here is a bunch of random, so we're gonna plot a random position with a random brightness. Kind of the easiest way to demo this thing. And here 255. All right, so if you look at the simulator, you'll see that it's kind of like faint. It has this impression that it's not completely on enough. Let me see if I can get a view. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's try that on the microbit, and I have connected this microbit. I'm going to connect it with web USB just to refresh the mind with that. So I'm going to go compare the device. I've impaired all the device, and I pair with this one. And now that I'm paired, I can go and download. You can see immediately the microbit is flashing, and now it is subtly, unfortunately it's going to be hard to see with the camera, is subtly on and off. The new block we have here is that you can actually read. You can read the brightness from a particular NeoPixel location, LED location. And that's really nice because you really have access to now a 5x5 matrix of bytes. So you can maybe store data in there or do some more advanced computation, and you can read the data. And for example, you can say brightness. You can store the brightness, and then you can read this data here, right? And this is going to be the XY coordinate on the screen. If you're doubt about the coordinate, you can always hover with your mouse. There's a tooltip that tells you what coordinate it is. All right. So That's one more block. The new block here is set point. But it's interesting if you want to do some more advanced animations, you can actually start painting with some LED levels. Okay, so these are a few of the new blocks we've added. Most of the new blocks added to MakeCode are actually added via extensions. So we're trying to keep the core set of blocks actually pretty small. So that's pretty much the only changes that are coming in. There is one more change in input. When you talk about the magnetic force, and this is a contribution from, what am I going to call it? Magnetic field. It's a contribution from our users. We used to return an integer, so we lost precision here. Looks like we have a bug in the simulator. Well, that's great to see. Something's happening. So in this case, we used to return a integer number, and that was due to some limitation in the previous version of MakeCode. But in the next version, we're returning a floating point. So we'll get a bit more precision on the data returned by this API, which is great news. All right, so those are the few changes. And the big thing I wanted to talk about today was the multi-editor for radio. And that's something we shortly demoed during the live stream. So currently you have to go to makecode.com/multi. And what this gives you is 2 editors. All right. And actually I'm going to bring in a second microbit here. All right. I got two microbits. And I'm going to go and demo this. So the advantage to this is that you can have, for example, a controller piece of your scripts, and on the other side, a receiver. And this is typical when you're doing radio programs. One of them is going to be probably the microbit you have in your hand, and then the other one is going to be the robot. So in this case, we'll probably end up having something specific to the microbit. This is still being deployed, but right now it is living here. But by the time we release the full editor, this will be microbit specific and not specific to that. So these are 2 separate programs that you can edit together. You can resize. You want to resize things if you're working on one and you just want the other one be just hanging around. So for example, I could let me program this one to showcase data. So it's going to receive a number, and it's just going to plot it. So that's my plotting microbit, and I'm done coding, so I'm just going to go full screen on this one and put it to the side. And now I can work on the other one. Now, before I go there, once you start doing programs that have different source code, it's very important that you use the group number. And the reason is we allocate a group number based on hash, so based on kind of a signature of your code. So if you have different codes, there's a very good chance that you won't have a different default group out of the box. So you want to always specify it. I'm going to go with 1 full screen simulator, just so that you can see what's going on. And then here, same thing. I'm going to set my radio. Then I can do something like, for example, a classic example would be streaming data. I'm going to go and send a number here. All right, and as soon as that happens, you can see that if I'm I'm tilting the left microbit, and then the right microbit is working. And both of these programs can be, in a sense, modified. Now maybe there's a problem with the group, so I'm going to go with 5. I can make 5 both. Because these are 2 different pages, and this is something I get caught with. There's no dragging across these 2 things. We haven't figured that out yet. So yeah, if you want to drag this, this is going to be a little problem. All right, so that's great. We have, this is, I think, hopefully a very interesting features when trying to build radio programs. As always, you can see that I've got one of my boards is connected here, and I go with this one. Let's see if I can move it. This one is not connected, so we're gonna have to pair. And this becomes interesting. So you can see we have 2 microbit connected. And when this happens, the browser shows you the serial number. You kind of want to remember which one you tried. It's hard to tell from the serial number which microbit it is. So this is going to be 399. I'm going to try to pair with 399. At the end of this string, probably it says whether it's already paired or not. But like that. I tried to, it didn't work. I think I took the wrong one. I'm going to go and pair again. And I'm going to try the other one. All right. So I may need to unplug and replug. Give it a chance to connect. It's really not happy. I'm in demo mode. Well, the left side worked. Let's see. It's breaking apart. Yeah, this is why it's called a beta. So we still have, we're still working through some issues. You can see that nothing happening. Now let me see if I unplug this one. So this one is connected to, yeah, so it's easier if you plug one in. Should eventually, both pages should connect to either the left or the right. Nothing's happening. Interesting. All right, let's try the other one. All right, so this one is connected to there, so I'm going to swap them. And of course, I don't, oh, okay. And then I'm going to connect this one here. And after a few seconds, I got both running. And if I can both upload them. And we should see that we successfully deployed both of our programs. So once they're paired, this should be happy. This will also kind of remember which microbit they bound to, so that, for example, I unplug both and I replug the first one. I hope it's going to stay on the left side. And the left side won the race. Same thing if I plug in now to the right. Takes a few seconds, and then eventually the device should lighten up. But it seems that we still have some bugs around reconnection. If you're interested to see what's happening under the hood, you can go in the debugger in the console, and then you'll see that we tried to connect, and Somehow the device seems to be locked for some reason. But we only see one device right now. Something's going on. Yeah, device locked. Oh wait. All right. So that's and yeah, we've got some work to do. But that's the idea around that. If web USB doesn't work, don't worry. You still have the good old download dialog, and we can for sure click that, right click, and save it into the drive. It's just that when you're doing multiple microbit, you kind of never know which one it is, and I downloaded it in the wrong one. Now I need to go and do it to the other one. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get that little web USB issue under control, and then we should be good to go. And yeah, sometimes hitting refresh on the page can help. And then you just want to open both programs at the right location. Yeah, there's definitely one of the two who's having issues. All right, so that's the radio multi-editor. Hopefully this is very helpful. We'll have probably some integration with our content so that it's easy to open. Maybe have text window here, and that's coming up in the beta of the editor. So to get to the beta, you want to do /beta, and you'll get in there. That covers a few of the new APIs you'll find in MakeCode that will help you in the blocks that will code. There's also a few new blocks in arrays. You'll see that there's more support for various operations you want to do in arrays. There are a few things here and there that are new, but mostly we've kept the same core blocks. No surprise there. All right, and that concludes this this little deep dive about the new blocks in MakeCode. So new melody block, got some volume going on. Kind of, no, we don't have the right electrical circuitry to do real proper amplification, but it kind of works, and certainly you can lower the volume. Doesn't have to destroy your ears in the headphones. And also we showed the multi-editor is something that's useful. All right, that's it. As usual, we've got the chat going on. If you have some comments, drop it in. We'll be continuing this week to cover the new stuff. We've got a little deep dive on the functions coming up, the debugger. I'm going to talk about the GitHub integration. So hopefully everybody's kind of ramped up and knows good stuff that's coming up in the upcoming editor. Yeah, the melody editor is something we built. Our intern built is very nice. It's super fun. It's going to be very engaging as far as the students creating their own music. But you can still do the playtone stuff if you want to as well. All right, and that concludes this recording. We'll be back with more things about the new beta.